To say that Shawn Mendes is just a humble version of Justin Bieber is an understatement. He ticked all the boxes that Justin failed to tick, with even higher grades: hard drugs, lust, fights with paparazzi, fights with fans, wasted in public, and it just seems like Shawn used Justin's career as a case study for all the things any upcoming star shouldn't do. However, despite Shawn being cautious about all the stuff that could ruin one's career, he still faced the same problems Justin faced: exhaustion and mental problems, which usually result into tour cancellations. And by the time such artists return from a hiatus, their fans are usually long gone. And that is exactly the same problem Shawn Mendes is facing right now. Shawn Mendes' rise to fame is similar to Justin's. Apart from also being born and raised in Canada, he started out his career with making song covers, which he uploaded to Vine and later expanded to other platforms. His first upload was actually a Justin Bieber song, which gained him 10,000 likes in one day, skyrocketing his popularity on the app back in 2013. With time, he got better at what he was doing, even winning Ryan Seacrest's Best Cover Song contest with Say Something by A Great Big World, a song that would later land him a record deal. His manager, Andrew Gertler, actually discovered him after landing on his clip on YouTube as he was scrapping through the platform looking for covers of that same song. He was highly impressed, and he immediately sent it to a colleague who worked at Island Records, based in New York. When they flew him out to New York, girls were showing up to his hotel, and this showcased that his online following could actually turn into physical presence. That's when they realized he was the real deal. At the time, Republic Records, Atlantic Records, Sony, and Warner Brothers were all on his neck, but he ended up signing with Island Records in 2014, stating that they were the ones who first acknowledged him. He quickly jumped on tour with fellow label mates, opening for Austin Mahone, alongside Fifth Harmony and the Vamps. He started tasting some success pretty early in the industry as his single, Life of the Party, debuted in the top 25 on the US Billboard Hot 100, which was followed by his self-titled EP, which debuted at number 5 on the Billboard 200, also selling 48,000 copies in its first week. This was huge for a new artist to sell close to 50,000 copies on an EP that had only 4 songs on it. Later on that year, he released his second single, Something Big, which was also well received by his fans. He collaborated with Camila Cabello, and it was around this time that rumors started spreading that these two were dating, but they quickly halted them, with Camila even coming out to confirm that she was actually dating Austin Mahone. Shawn later revealed that he actually had a crush on Camila for almost 5 years without telling her. Camila also revealed that she was also feeling something towards Shawn. But by the time Shawn decided to make a move, her heart was already somewhere else, and that's partly why their relationship didn't last long when they decided to date in 2019, as we are soon going to see. In April of 2015, he released his first studio album, Handwritten, which debuted at the #1 spot on the Billboard 200 charts, also managing to sell 119,000 copies first week. His third single from the album, Stitches, was released 1 month later, and it was climbing up the charts in the US and Canada before peaking at number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100, making it his first song to reach in the top 10 on the charts. Just like other teenage stars of his era, Shawn wasn't an exception when it came to being overworked for others' personal gains. He embarked on another tour for his second consecutive year, this time opening for Taylor Swift during her 1989 World Tour in North America. This can also be seen as a developmental move, with his label introducing him to the world of touring, exposing him to even a bigger audience touring with the likes of Taylor Swift. But he would later realize that there was nothing he could do to keep him safe from the dangers of touring, as we are about to see. In January of 2016, he announced his first headlining tour, the Shawn Mendes World Tour, in support for his first studio album. The tour was a massive success, selling out all 38 shows across North America and Europe. While on tour, he released the first single, Treat You Better, off his upcoming album, and towards the end of the tour, he released the second single, Mercy. Both songs had good receptions among his fans, with Treat You Better peaking in the top 10 on the Billboard Hot 100. At that point, Shawn was already an established artist, but unlike other teen stars of his era, specifically Justin, he wasn't washed out by the success and fame he had obtained at the time. He was still staying at his parents' home in Toronto, and whenever he was done touring, he would travel back to Canada to stay with his parents. Although he admitted to smoking a few blunts once in a while, his case wasn't also as extreme as Justin's. He wasn't spotted anywhere in bars or nightclubs, except just a few eat-outs. He was just an ambitious teenager with a guitar who idolized Ed Sheeran. He even shocked his fans when they got to know that he was actually still schooling despite the money and fame he had amassed at the time. He graduated from Pine Ridge Secondary School in Ontario, Canada. The graduation ceremony was scheduled to take place during his 2016 Shawn Mendes tour, and he somehow managed to fix time to attend the ceremony along with his parents. 1 month after the tour had ended, he eventually released his second studio album, Illuminate, which also debuted at #1 on the US Billboard 200 with 145,000 equivalent album units sold in the first week. His success continued in 2017 with his sold-out Illuminate World Tour. 1 week before the tour, he released another single, There's Nothing Holding Me Back, which was later added to the deluxe version of the album, and it also did pretty well, topping charts in multiple countries. This tour was also a massive success, with over 60 shows across 4 continents. However, it was along this tour that he started facing some issues that affect musicians after performing at multiple shows. During his North American leg, he got some vocal strains which forced him to adjust set lists and resting periods. But despite that, his resilience and hard work managed to push him throughout until the end of the tour, with his last show being in Tokyo. Around this time, slowing down wasn't an option for Shawn Mendes. In 2018, he even came back stronger. He started with another single, In My Blood, off his third studio album, and immediately followed by another one, Lost in Japan. 2018 would become Shawn Mendes' best year ever since he started his career. His self-titled album debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200, making him the third youngest artist to collect 3 #1 albums. He did multiple performances at major events including Victoria's Secrets and the iHeartRadio MMVAs, where he won 4 awards, including Best Artist and Best Pop Artist. Although his music career was taking an uphill trend, unfortunately his love life wasn't. Despite him and Hailey Baldwin disclaiming rumors that the two were dating, it was showing everywhere, through their interviews, their socials, and their hangouts. They even attended the 2018 Met Gala together in April. However, a few months after the Met Gala, Hailey returned to her longtime obsession, Justin, who later proposed to her. Shawn Mendes was asked about his relationship with Justin Bieber, and he said that he had no feud with him. But when he was later asked about his favorite Justin between Justin Bieber and Justin Trudeau, Canada's Prime Minister, he chose Trudeau. I mean, this dude's first song cover was a Bieber song. In the followed year, he again challenged more heights as his collab with Camila Cabello, Señorita, became his first #1 single on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. Around this period, the two were inseparable, again sparking rumors that they were dating, but this time they did confirm that it was true they were dating. He spent most of the year on the road, as he embarked on another tour for his third studio album. Each tour was bigger and better than the one before, showcasing how his fan base was growing at a very high speed. This one grossed $96 million, more than double the amount of money he was able to pull in on his Illuminate World Tour. At the time, Shawn was unstoppable, as if he was possessed by an extraordinary force that drove him further with every project he took on, surpassing milestones that once seemed impossible at the start of his career. However, this was soon to change in an unimaginable way, and the tables were about to turn for the worse. In 2020, he released his 4th studio album, Wonder, and this is where his career started showing signs of a decline. Wonder wasn't that much of a bad album, but fans just felt like they deserved more, giving the album mediocre reviews, and this would also reflect in the album's sales, as the album sold only 89,000 copies in its first week. Despite debuting at the #1 spot on the Billboard 200 charts, almost 100,000 copies less than his previous album. Now, you can find justifiable reasons as to why his sales were low, with the first being the COVID-19 pandemic that had affected people's finances, making people more cautious of their spending habits. And the second being with such artists who grow with their fan base. Their fans tend to move on to other things as they grow older and become less interested in the musician. But that was just the beginning, because it wasn't only his career taking a dive, but his love life too. In the following year, he broke up with fellow pop singer Camila Cabello after 2 years of dating. They both posted on their stories stating, "Hey guys, we've decided to end our romantic relationship, but our love for one another as humans is stronger than ever." As if that wasn't bad enough for the Canadian pop sensation, in 2022 he faced his biggest challenge since the start of his career. He embarked on another tour to promote his 4th studio album, and it was during this tour that he started opening up about his mental health through a series of posts stating that trying to be the best wasn't working out anymore, and that being himself felt a bit better. And it didn't take long for his mental issues to take a toll on his health. In early July, just after 7 shows, he was forced to postpone all the tour dates in the upcoming 3 weeks, stating, "I've been touring since I was 15, and, to be honest, it's always been difficult to be on the road away from friends. After a few years off the road, I felt like I was ready to dive back in, but that decision was premature. And unfortunately, the toll of the road and the pressure has caught up to me, and I've hit a breaking point. After speaking with my team and health professionals, I need to take some time to heal and take care of myself and my mental health, first and foremost. As soon as there are more updates, I promise I will let you know. Love you guys." However, 3 weeks later, he wasn't any better, and he only came back with even more depressing news for his fans. "After speaking more with my team and working with an incredible group of health professionals, it has become more clear that I need to take the time I've never taken personally to ground myself and come back stronger. I unfortunately have to cancel the rest of the tour dates in North America, the UK, and Europe." While at the shows prior to the tour cancellation, Shawn would take small amounts of alcohol and weed to help him cope with the anxiety before and after hitting the stage to perform. However, he made a bold decision of not letting those drugs take over him like the musicians before him, who became addicted due to constant use of substances. And that's why he decided to cancel the tour, instead of keeping himself on drugs that would later have more serious consequences. Apart from casting in Lyle Crocodile, he kept a low profile for the rest of 2022. The same happened in 2023, as he continued to distance himself from the music scene, apart from the surprise single, "What the Hell Are We Dying For?", which he released in June in reference to the Canadian wildfires. In the early months of the year, he sparked rumors of a relationship with Sabrina Carpenter. However, these turned out to be just rumors, though they ultimately worked in Sabrina's favor. Later that year, Shawn briefly rekindled his romance with Camila Cabello, which Sabrina seemingly leveraged while promoting her 2023 album, Short and Sweet, where she appeared to take shots at Camila. In 2024, he made a return, releasing 2 singles, Why, and Isn't That Enough, off his 5th studio album, titled Shawn. He started performing at some events, making a surprise appearance during Ed Sheeran's show, and later headlined the Rock in Rio festival in Brazil. The album came out later that year, in November. He called it his most intimate and lyrical project. The tracks were recorded in different parts of the world, including Costa Rica and New York, among others, over a period of 2 years as he was traveling to different environments to aid his mental recovery. The album was so personal, with Mendes expressing all the pressure he had faced from fans and the people surrounding him. He promoted the album through a series of intimate concert tours in the places he recorded the album from throughout the United States. Fans had waited 4 years for a new project from the pop singer, and when he gave them Shawn, it fell short of their expectations. The album lacked a distinctive genre, falling on both the pop and country side. Country was one of the trending genres in 2024, so most of the fading artists were jumping onto the genre, and Shawn adding some country songs to his album was seen as a sign of trying to revive his career, but that still didn't help. Although its first week sales were not published, it's clear they were significantly lower than the previous album, hitting another low in his career. Apart from announcing that he will be headlining at the Lollapalooza Festival in Chile, which will be happening in March of this year, there is no official statement regarding any tour or new music.